welcome to today's episode of Law and You. How do you sue the police for breach of fundamental rights? When the police either arrest somebody and detain the person unnecessarily, or beat somebody up, or compel someone to make a statement, or generally abuse people's rights. How do you sue the police in Nigeria for breach of fundamental rights? We will be talking about that when we come back. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're looking forward to your subscription, and also click the notification link. I know many have asked, how do I subscribe? How much does it cost? It's absolutely free of charge. But if you subscribe, you can get regular videos. As we post videos, can be sent to you on your Android phone or on any sort of medium that you are using, and you can have opportunity to watch our shows, Law and You and other shows. So subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. And so when we come back, we'll talk about how to recover money, how to sue police and recover money for breach of fundamental rights. 24 hours, 7 days a week.
For more exciting, educative, and entertaining programs such as Law and You, Talk Politics, Entertainment Gist, Relationship Talk, and other programs, keep watching Pinnacle TV. You can watch live and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Pinnacle TV Online. You can also visit our website at www.pinnacletv.com. Follow us on Facebook at Pinnacle TV Online, or call us on 081 546 99989. Pinnacle TV, top quality broadcasting.
Welcome back. Now, the first thing you want to do when there is an issue with the police, I always advise people is try to not be violent. Don't respond with violence when your rights are being breached. Take measures to prevent yourself from being either hurt or but don't fight back. Don't become aggressive or become an aggressor against a police officer. Don't do that at all, because when they are done at the end of the day, there is lots and lots of goodies in for you when the police breach your rights. Okay, I can talk to you from experience as a lawyer. The provision of the law is that where your fundamental rights have been breached, then the court can award you monetary compensation. Okay? Where your rights have been breached by the police, the court will award you monetary compensation, and oftentimes also ask them to tender an unreserved apology to you. So those are two things the law says, should be given to you as a remedy. Now, so if you want to get money from the police when your rights are breached, it's quite simple. Okay? The first thing is to know that government can be sued, the police can be sued, they can be won, you can win them, and you can recover the money, you can get the money. Okay, I'm going to say that again because there are lots of people who are always saying, oh, can you fight government? Oh, live on for God. Oh, pray about it. That's all right. I mean, I'm all for prayer. I'm all for living things for God. But God also expects you to take steps to protect yourself. Take steps to if your rights have been infringed, if you have been detained for more than 24 hours. Okay, if you have been beaten. Your car was seized, your properties were seized unjustly, your phone was searched, any of those things. You have a right, to get compensation from government, huge well of money, huge pool of money, okay, because government has a lot of money which they have earmarked to pay for all these sort of things. Okay, so if you are not getting your part of it, you know, if your rights are infringed and you don't get your part of it from government's money, you are only cheating, you know, yourself. All right. So what are the like things the preliminary things you should consider before you launch an action against the police? Or shall I put it differently? What are the common things you can sue the police for? I think that's the first thing we should look at. What are the things you can sue the police for in Nigeria for breach of your fundamental rights? Okay, they might be very obvious to some people, to some they might not be so obvious. So let's look at them. What are the common things? Number one, unlawful arrest and detention. Okay, unlawful arrest and detention. So the police have the powers to arrest under Section 4 of the Police Act. They can arrest after investigation, okay? Once they've established a prima facie case, and okay, that's big Latin. Let's break it down. Once they've established that there is reasonable cause to arrest a suspect, they have the power to arrest. But they do not have they have power to arrest and detain. Maybe I should put it like that. But they do not have power to detain anybody for more than 24 hours. So you can't detain, the police cannot detain somebody for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, and then the relatives are going there, they are begging, Joe, do Allah, Biko, Lahore, please help us, we want bail. They say, go and bring 200,000, go and bring 500,000, go and bring 1 million, go and bring 30,000. That is very, very wrong. Okay, that's unconstitutional, it's illegal, and it's even a crime. So where you have such a situation of unlawful arrest and detention beyond 24 hours without charging to court or releasing on bail, then you know, if you are the victim, that there is, you know, a lottery there for you. Okay, all right. Now some policemen would always come up to say, hey, I granted him bail. He could not bring a reasonable surety. In a case called EDA, EDA versus Commissioner of Police, the Court of Appeal held that whether the suspect is able to bring surety or not does not absorb the police of the burden of the responsibility to charge that person to court. It is for the court to decide whether to detain that person or not. It's for the judge or the magistrate to take the detention decision. It is not for the police to decide. This one, leave him there. Keep him there. We'll keep him for 1 week. Don't mind him. He's a bad person. Look at what he did. He went to steal. Don't even talk of bail. Okay? I remember on one occasion I had to call some government official who had, you know, ordered police to detain somebody. And he said to me, oh, you are a very respected lawyer. How can a respected lawyer like you don't be representing such a criminal? That person will rot. And I said, you know, I mean, on the one hand, you are aggrieved that the person has, you know, done something wrong. You are aggrieved. I understand that. But on the other hand, by continually detaining this person in police station, you know, over many days, you are actually piling up opportunities for this person to make money off you and off the government. You know, so the best thing is to take the person to court, let the magistrate decide. It is the punishment of the magistrate or the judge, the pronouncement, that is actually justice. It's justice. Okay, so we've talked about number one thing you need to bear in mind: unlawful arrest and detention. That's number one. Number two, beating you up. No policeman has a right to beat you up, give you a blow, you know, use the rifle to kick you with his boot, you know, lift you up and hit you on the ground, or hold your neck, you know, or use unreasonable force and all that. Okay? The requirement of the law is that they should use reasonable force. Force commensurate with subduing the suspect who is being violent. If you are not being violent, you know, they stop you and then they say, oh, you said something I don't like, you are rude to me, and the next thing is a big slap on the face and all that and all that. So that is assault and battery. It is still battery whether it is from a police or from a non-police officer. Battery is battery. So we've talked about arrest and detention. We've talked about battery, which is, you know, unnecessary force. Another one, they seize properties indiscriminately. Just come to the house, carry the food, carry television set, carry bed, carry pot of soup, carry the meat from the freezer, carry everything, and go and begin to have a sumptuous dinner. That one, you can also sue for it. So they carry cars, they seize cars, keep them, you know, detained, and all that. So now, all this, you know, and then there's many more. They force people, you know, to write statements without the presence of their lawyers. And of course, when that happens, you know what to do. Immediately apply to court to seek to quash that and to give damages or compensation. By damages, I mean compensation for the unconstitutional act, the inhuman and degrading treatment of obtaining statement under duress. That one on its own is a big, you know, pot of money. It's a big pot of money. You know, the one that you obtain statement, police obtain statement from suspect by force, either by beating, by torture, hanging him up, tying tie around him, bringing a gun and say, I'm going to shoot you now if you don't, you know, do this or do that. So all these are in law what we call actionable conduct. You can sue for them. Now another one is forbidding you or preventing you from receiving visitors while you are in detention. When you are in police detention, you have a right to see your lawyer. You have a right to see your relative. If you are refused, you are kept incommunicado. That on its own is actionable. You can sue police for that. Okay? Now, what I always recommend to people is if police arrest somebody, there will always be the argument as to they didn't apply for bail, we applied for bail. The first thing you must do is write a letter to whoever is in charge asking for the bail of that person, particularly if you are a lawyer. Before you go to police station, or if you, maybe they call you and, oh, this person has been detained at so-so police station, you go there, they refuse to release on bail, the next conduct, the next action you should take, do a letter to the commissioner or the OC in charge and say, you know, I came yesterday to apply for my client's bail. You refused to release him. My client has been detained for 3 or 4 days now, or 1 week or 2 weeks, or whatever case it is, and that is unconstitutional. So that you have a documentary evidence of the timeline from when your client was arrested, when there was the request for bail, and the refusal to release on bail. So now these are things I want you to bear in mind. Now, we're going to come back. I don't know how many minutes we have done, but we'll just stop here. And then when we come back, let's look at what kind of evidence you would need to present to court in order to get money against the police. We'll be right back. 24 hours, 7 days a week.
For more exciting, educative, and entertaining programs such as Law and You, Talk Politics, Entertainment Gist, Relationship Talk, and other programs, keep watching Pinnacle TV. You can watch, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Pinnacle TV Online. You can also visit our website at www.pinnacletv.com. Follow us on Facebook at Pinnacle TV Online or call us on 081 546 99989. Pinnacle TV, top quality broadcasting.
All right, welcome back. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. And let's, have the conversation going. Let me know what you think about this program. Let me know what you think about the ideas. If you have ideas that you think we should explore in terms of, what you like to hear us talk about on this Law and You program, we can talk about it. I'll be glad to hear from you. Leave your comments. If you don't even like this program, just also let us know. We also like to know what you think. This is not, teaching. I'm not just talking. I also, want people to, participate. Should be interactive. All right. Now, I wanted us to look at what kind of evidence, in the next few minutes, you would need, to be able to win a case against the police if you sue. Number one is you need to be able to document as much evidence as you can. Okay, when there are phone calls requesting for money, record. Okay, if there's a record, button on your phone or a record device, make sure you press record on your phone. Injuries, if you sustain any injuries, make sure at the earliest opportunity you go to a hospital. Any hospital will do. It doesn't have to be a government hospital. There's some people who think, oh no, I have to go to a government hospital. No. Any hospital will do, because if you are sick, the court will not tell you, don't go to government hospital or don't go to private hospital or go to particular hospital. Go and treat yourself, and make sure you take pictorial evidence. Get your camera, take pictures of injury. If you have a bruise, take picture. If necessary, get a professional photographer to take a picture either of a bruise you have in your hand, of a wound, a small injury, or how you look. Maybe you were hungry when you came out. Maybe you were sunken. Then as much as possible, try to document the experience you had there, because over time you can forget. 3-4 months down the road, you can forget, important parts of it. So make some notes, if you can. If you cannot write, get somebody who can write, what time were you arrested? Which cell were you detained? What was the size of the cell? What was the nature of it? Where is it located? How many times they came to open the door? Where did you ease yourself? Did they give you food to eat? All of that information you can document, because they could become critical in persuading a judge, to award, a higher sum to you as compensation. All right? So get all that evidence, and if you have injuries, as I said, take pictures, preserve them. Take pictures, preserve them, okay? Don't be too hasty to go and wash everything off. Don't be too hasty, because you need evidence, all right? You need evidence. So once you have your evidence, then, you are ready to take your case to court. And when taking your case to court, I always recommend go pursuant to the fundamental rights rules, because the fundamental rights rules, they are faster. It's a faster procedure. The Fundamental Rights Enforcement Procedure Rule 2009. You file your motion. You can do it by way of motion. You have your affidavit in support. Then you attach your evidence, do your written address, file your verifying affidavit, file your statement in support of your application, and then you are good to go. Then you serve it on the police. And note one important thing. This is important. This is important. When you are suing the police, don't just sue DPO of a police station. No. Make sure you sue the Nigeria Police Force as a party. Sue the Police Service Commission as a party. You sue the Inspector General of Police as a party before you do the Commissioner of Police for that state and then the individual police officers. I tell you why briefly. The Nigerian Police Force, if you sue the Nigerian Police Force and you get judgment, it's easier. You can enforce that judgment against any police account in any part of the federation, whether it's Commissioner of Police account in Akwa Ibom or Commissioner of Police Special Projects account in Katsina or whatever, or Police Training College account in Lagos. You can enforce against it. So that's why you must put Nigeria Police Force as a first defendant. Then Police Service Commission. You must put Police Service Commission, because the Police Service Commission is the employer of all policemen, from the Inspector General of Police to the first constable. So you need to get sue them, put the Police Service Commission, who is the employer, so that they are liable for the actions of their staff. And then if you have the names of the individual police officers, you also sue them along. All right? That's talking about suing police. I've got my book on a guide to successful human rights litigation. I hope we can get the camera to zoom on it if we can. A guide to successful human rights litigation. It's containing the Fundamental Rights Enforcement Procedure Rule 2009. Okay, this book will help you from A to Z on how to sue the police and recover huge amounts, okay, actually millions of naira. So you need to, A to Z, you tell you the process, the documents to file, the evidence to put across, etc., etc. So, you know, it's a good book. I recommend it for you. And if you want a copy, just let us know. I will give out when we hit 200 subscribers on Pinnacle TV. I will give out 10 copies of this book to the 10 subscribers. That is from 200, from 190. Is that 190 to 200? Is it? So we are keeping a record of subscribers. So once we hit 200, we'll give out 10 copies of this book to 10 of our subscribers that take Pinnacle TV to 200 subscribers. So subscribe. You could be lucky. All right. But if you want a copy of the book also, you can contact us. Our contact details are right there. That's how it's been today on how to sue the police and recover money for breach of fundamental rights. If you have any questions, you have any comments, any inquiries, please let us know via comments in the inbox or DM us, and I will be glad to get across to you. Thank you. 24 hours, 7 days a week.
For more exciting, educative, and entertaining programs such as Law and You, Talk Politics, Entertainment Gist, Relationship Talk, and other programs, keep watching Pinnacle TV. You can watch, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Pinnacle TV Online. You can also visit our website at www.pinnacletv.com. Follow us on Facebook at Pinnacle TV Online.